Hello, friends, and welcome into Seattle Seahawks today. I am your host, Tom Downey, here with my way too early 53-man roster projection. We're not at training camp yet, but OTAs are here, so let's take a look at what the roster could look like for Seattle. We'll go position by position, beginning with the quarterback spot, where, frankly, only the number one spot matters. It's Russell Wilson, who has been a fantastic example of how to stay healthy in the NFL. I'll put Geno Smith in there as quarterback 2. Danny Etling, Alex Magoo. I got them both getting cut because they don't really matter. Now, I think Seattle this year is going to make the playoffs, and I think that pretty much everybody watching agrees with me. But I want to put that hypothesis to the test. If you agree, if you think Seattle will make the playoffs in 2021, I want you guys to like today's video. In theory, we should have several thousand likes. We'll see who's actually paying attention, though. Let's go to running back, which was a little bit tougher position here. I did cut Alex Collins. Sorry, Alex Collins fans. I'm going with Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, DJ Dallas, Travis Homer, and also fullback Nick Bellore, who I would not be surprised if he gets cut and then brought back, initially with the roster cuts as they've done for a couple years now in a row. So 4 backs and a fullback there for Seattle. Now to receiver. Well, I will go a little bit lighter. I'll only carry 5, and there are very clearly 3, maybe 3.5 roster locks. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and second-round pick Dwayne Eskridge. They're not going anywhere. Freddie Swain, I feel pretty good about him making the team as well. And I'll go with undrafted free agent here, Cade Johnson out of South Dakota State, who I am a pretty big fan of. I believe that Cade Johnson can make this roster as mostly a slot receiver type. Now, maybe Tamorrion Terry makes it as a bigger body on the outside. Maybe it's, a John Ursura, a Penny Hard, a Cody Thompson end up making the team. But only with this year's undrafted free agent. So how many do you guys think end up making the roster this year, referring to the undrafted free agents? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Now, in years past, Seattle has gone heavy at tight end. I'm going to go light this time, though. Just 3. Gerald Everett, coming over from the LA Rams, Will Dissly, and Colby Parkinson. You could maybe talk me into like a Tyler Mabry, but I don't think Seattle needs 4 tight ends. Even though they might use plenty of 2 tight end sets, I think Everett, Dissly, and Parkinson, provided they are healthy, of course, is a pretty darn good trio at the position. Over now to the offensive line. This one was a little bit trickier as well. You got some obvious roster locks, right? Dwayne Brown, Damian Lewis, Ethan Posick, Gabe Jackson, Brandon Shell, probably Cedric Ogbuehi as well, are very much locked and loaded. I think Stone Forsythe makes this team. I like him quite a bit. I thought he was a steal for where Seattle ended up getting him. Then it came down to the interior guys, right? Jamarco Jones, who can also play tackle. I like his versatility. He made the team. Kyle Fuller, the center. There's no real depth there, so I actually went with Kyle Fuller and Phil Haynes over Jordan Simmons. That's going to be a tough decision if, of course, everyone stays healthy in Seattle. I wanted to carry 11, but that was just too many for me. The numbers in the end did not work out. If you are among the first 100 people to comment on today's video, congratulations! You get to download the News Break app for free at chatsports.com/SeahawksNB. We're kind of trailing some of the other channels here at Chat Sports with those downloads. So congrats to those of you who were the first 100 to comment. Don't fail me. I'm going to respond to your comment with that link. So all I have to do is click it and download it so you can get all of the best local news you need. It kind of replaces the newspaper because let's be honest here. Do you guys even get that delivered? It's 2021. Everything's on your phone, right? So download the Newsbreak app today at chatsports.com/SeahawksNB. All right, I'll put that link in the comments section. If you're the first 100 to respond, just check your response, of course. And it's also in the description as well. Let's go to defense now, and we'll focus on the defensive line. We will talk about Darrell Taylor and Aldon Smith in a little bit. But at edge rusher, I'm going to go with Carlos Dunlap, Benson Mayowa, Kerry Hyder, all very obvious locks. I'll throw Alton Robinson in there as well. And what I will list as quote-unquote, 5 defensive linemen being carried there, right? Poona Ford, L.J. Collier, Brian Monet, Rasheem Green, and Al Woods as well. Of course, acknowledging that LJ Collier, Rasheem Green have some inside-outside flexibility, and that Alden Smith, if he ends up making the team, he's a bit of an asterisk as we sit right now, and Darrell Taylor are edge, Sam linebacker hybrids. That flexibility allows me to carry, if you want to call it 9 or 11, whichever one you prefer there in the end, defensive linemen. Now, I do think there will be some surprise roster cuts this year for Seattle, and I wonder if that defensive line position might be the spot. Maybe they want to keep Robert Nkemdiche on the 53-man roster. But I want you guys to make your predictions for me in the comments section. Who are your surprise roster cut or cuts? Let me know what you guys think. So again, I will count this as 6 linebackers. If you want to call it 4 and you're going to count Alden Smith and Darrell Taylor as strong side linebackers, I get that, but I think that role is going to be a blended position designation, if you will. Darrell Taylor's definitely going to make it. We will see about Alden Smith. There, of course, is the off-the-field issue, so that is almost an asterisk as we sit right now. But clearly, Bobby Wagner's making it. I think Jordan Brooks is going to have a breakout year. Cody Barton, Ben Burkervin, solid depth, who in reality probably aren't going to play all that much in the end. Now, I'm sure the answer to this question is going to be KJ Wright, Richard Sherman, whatever. But get your votes in for me nonetheless. Name a player who you guys still want the Seahawks to go out and sign. I'm going to go defense more or less. I think that's going to be the popular vote, but maybe I'm wrong. Get your votes in for me in the comments section. Let's go to corner, where once again I am going heavy in large parts due to the safety spot, which we'll get to in a second. DJ Reed, Akello Witherspoon, I think are pretty much locks. Same with Trey Brown. I'm going to put both Pierre Desir and Trey Flowers on this roster. Maybe Demarius Randall can make it. He's moving back from the safety spot back to his original position of corner. We'll see how that transition goes. That back of the roster cornerback spot will be a fascinating position battle to watch this year. Marquise Blair, Ugo Amadi, both nickel guys who could also probably play some safety. More on that coming up, though, in just a second. Now, we are trying to get to 21,000 subscribers here on Seattle Seahawks Today, just under 200 away. So if you guys want almost daily videos here on everything going on around the Seattle Seahawks, hit that big red button and subscribe today. I will go very light at the safety position here because, again, the defense is so flexible and versatile. If I need to play Ugo Amadi or Marquise Blair there, I can. It's Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, and Ryan Neal as the 3 quote-unquote safeties for the Seattle Seahawks. The specialists now to round out the 53, it's very easy. Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, Tyler Ott. Unless there's an injury, there's really no path in which these aren't the 3 guys who end up making the 53-man roster for Seattle. Now, that was just the main active roster. There are, of course, the practice squad players to get to as well. One very important note. Seems like the NFL is going to go with 12 players. However, for Seattle, they actually get 13. There is an international player pathway program, who we will get to in a little bit, that does not count in that area. So 13 practice squad players here. If I can get half of these right, it's a win. It is such a crapshoot there in the end. Danny Etling, the quarterback. Sure, I guess. Tamorion Terry and Connor Weddington, 2 current undrafted free agents who I like. I would not be that surprised if one or both of them found their way onto the active 53-man roster. Cody Thompson, I've liked him for a while. I'll stick him on there for one more year. Tight end Tyler Mabry, you add your 4 tight end there in the end. Jordan Simmons, who is going to count as one of the unlimited experience guys on your practice squad. He and Robert Nkemdiche are the 2 guys there. That's why I didn't include someone we'll get to here in a little bit. Pierre-Olivier Lestage, also on that list there. The Canadian kid. I don't know if he's any good, but we'll find out, right? Seattle, by the way, actually has a very strong track record of undrafted defensive linemen making the roster. Maybe Gerard Hewitt could be that guy this year. Aaron Donkor, the German linebacker, is the free practice squad player. He's the 13th guy. The International Player Pathway Program does not count against the practice squad 12-man limit, so he's an extra player in there. I'll go with Brian Mills. He fits the mold of a Seahawks outside corner. He does need some development, though. However, Jordan Miller, another cornerback who I think Seattle likes a decent amount. Ashari Crosswell is very talented, has had some coachability issues, so if he impresses, he might be a nice gem as a UDFA. And then I did want to mention some notable cuts that I just did not find a roster spot for. Alex Collins, I could see him on the practice squad, but you can't carry him with the way the numbers work out this year with his experience, because I picked two other guys instead. John Asura, the receiver, who a 7th-round pick, but I don't think Seattle is that high on. Tommy Champion, Cedric Lattimore, guys who've spent some time on the active roster. And then Demarius Randall, who I think will compete for one of those final roster spots in the secondary.